Thank you for the invitation, and I'm honored to be here in this panel to this great event. I will speak a little bit from a different angle than Mr. Ponta, even that we share many common ideas and beliefs, because I will speak as a strong pro-European after serving 16 years in the European Parliament, representing my country. Last 5 years, indeed, the chairman of Industry, Research and Energy Committee, but also very much committed, as my country was and will remain, I hope, to the transatlantic partnership, as our partnership with the United States is extremely important and should remain important also for European Union, but let's see where we can find the right balance. It is clear that the situation is different than the first Trump administration. It is clear that major changes will occur in the coming months and years. What is also important, and I think it's good, is the second election of President Donald Trump, and of course his new vision is a wake-up call for Europe, at least in two important areas where Europe unfortunately lacked until now leadership and strong involvement in the area of industry and competitiveness and international trade and international competitiveness, and second, of course, the area of defense. Already some steps were taken before Donald Trump was elected president and before he announced his future plans in the area of industry and competitiveness. You know well that European Commission asked former Prime Minister Mario Draghi, and I had the privilege to meet him as he was preparing his report, and as I was the chairman of that important committee, Industry and Energy. So European Commission asked Mario Draghi to come with the assessment of the situation and with ideas how we can boost our competitiveness. And everybody now is referring to Draghi report as a robust plan for the future, because what in the end former Prime Minister and former President of the European Central Bank was asking, he asked the EU to foster more investment to increase European productivity. Then, of course, the competitiveness compass came, and a few weeks ago, the Clean Industrial Deal, which was presented by European Commission, by President von der Leyen, in order to boost, first of all, energy-intensive industries, as steel, metals, chemicals. They need support to decarbonize, to switch to clean energy, but also they need support in order to tackle high costs, unfair global competition, and complex regulations. And then, of course, to boost the clean tech sector, which is at the heart of the future competitiveness and industrial transformation. And here, of course, the artificial intelligence age, where Europe, unfortunately, is less prepared and less competitive than United States. It was expected that United States invested a lot and have a very robust support for investments, private investments in this area. But unfortunately, more and more we lack competitiveness in our competition with China in this area, and we need to solve this problem. And then, of course, it is the area of defense. Irrespective if United States will remain or not in NATO, I hope it will remain. Irrespective that it will be less committed to support and protect Europe, President Trump is right. We need to invest more. Unilaterally, President Trump announced 5%. Of course, it's a little bit more than any European country is investing now, but at least 2%, where not all the European countries were committed in the past. Of course, we started in Europe this even before the wake-up call from President Trump, as the war in Ukraine was a powerful drive of more European defense cooperation. In the previous mandate of European Commission, European Parliament, already we establish a European defense industry program, but with a very modest funding, 1.5 billion euro. It's very modest, but it's a common program in order to start common projects in Europe. Then, of course, we have for the first time the former Prime Minister of Lithuania, my former colleague from ITRE committee, Mr. Kubilius, as a Commissioner for Defense. And he came with a more ambitious plan of 100 billion euros for investment in armament production. And the response of European Commission was the 150 billion debt loan that European Commission would like to mobilize for the coming years for the rearmament, and of course other measures that will mobilize from the member states' budgets, national budgets, and from the private sector up to, European Commission hopes, 850 billion euros in order to be more prepared in the future. And if United States, clearly with a lot of and strong arguments, will be less involved in protecting Europe, that Europe will be prepared to defend itself. Finally, of course, the role of Romania could be extremely important. As we need Europe, we are a new member of European Union, but we need Europe because we already invested in Romania more than 100 billion euros with a contribution of almost 30 billion. So we need Europe, we need European funds, we need European internal market, we need the free movement of goods and persons. Clearly, we will be part of Europe in the future, but we are among the few countries that is a strong and genuine partner of United States. Maybe together with Poland, the strongest partners of United States in Europe in the last years. Of course, I'm not talking about UK, as UK is not anymore a member of European Union. Now Giorgia Meloni and other leaders is looking very closely to a stronger alliance and partnership with the United States, but Romania and Poland could play a role as a bridge between European Union and United States. And I really hope that what we experienced in the first days and weeks and months of Trump administration, as it can be seen as a little bit of anxiety and a little bit or a little more of tensions between some European leaders and Trump administration will disappear in the future as the war in Ukraine will be over. And here, of course, President Trump is also right, and maybe his approach could be effective. We'll see. And as we understand that this alliance will ensure prosperity for Europeans and for Americans. Thank you so much.